Now there's one more thing about these buttons that I want to edit, and that is their visibility. When this document prints, I don't want these buttons to print along with it. And so I'll select Tools, Advanced Editing, my Select Object tool again, double click, return to General, and you can see that these buttons were already set that way. And again, this is the advantage of having built the buttons ahead of time. I have pre-configured all of these settings so that all I need to do is add the button, maybe make a couple of quick tweaks to the actions so that they work correctly, and I'm good to go. Speaking of user experience, this form is designed to work in Acrobat as something that you fill in and then print out and submit the printed document. It's useful to give the user some instructions for using the form. And so I'll return to preview mode, and I'm going to zoom in down here in the corner. And you can see that I have a button called Instructions, a button named Close Instructions, and then there's a text area here that give you some instructions. To work with these buttons, I'll choose Tools, Advanced Editing, Select Object. What I want to do is create a button that controls the field. This is a text field, and if I double-click on it, and I'll move the Properties dialog box out of my way because we're going to keep it open throughout the rest of this topic, you'll notice that for options, I have a default value in, which are the instructions. Again, I want to show and or hide this field because if you're someone who knows how to use this document, there's no sense in having to read these instructions. To do that, what I'm going to do is click this button. Now, this is the reason that I like the Select Object tool so much, because even with the Properties dialog box open, I can click a field, and no matter what that field is, the Properties dialog box gives me the properties for that kind of form element. So in this case, I've selected a button. I want to add an action to the button, so I'll select Actions. The action that I want is not to run a JavaScript, but to show hide a field. I'll select it and click Add. Acrobat wants to know which field I want to show or hide. Another good reason to name your fields descriptively, because the field that I want to show in this case is the instruction text field. So I'll scroll down until I see it. There it is. I want it to show when I click the Instructions button, and I'll click OK. There's another form element that I'm going to show when I click Instructions, and that's the Close Instructions button. I don't want this Close Instructions button visible unless the text here is visible, so we'll add another Show Hide field. We'll choose Close, and we'll choose Show. OK, and Close. Now, to set this up so that it will work correctly, what I first need to do is actually hide these elements. This button will show them. They're showing, which means that they're visible. So I'll double-click the text field, click General, set it so that it's hidden. And I don't need to close the Properties dialog box. All I need to do is select the next object, set it so that it's hidden, and now I'll click Close because I want to preview this to see if it's working correctly. I'll jump over to Preview. The fields that I want hidden are not visible. When I click on Instructions, they appear. This is a nice way to create a little bit of user instruction without having to obscure the entire form in order to do so. To finish this off, let's set it so that the Close Instructions button hides itself and the instructions. I'll use the Select Object tool, double-click, select Actions, add a Show Hide field. I want to hide the Close button, which will hide itself. Add again. I want to hide the instruction text. We'll click OK. Click Close so that we can test it, preview it. Close hides it. Instructions reveals them. It's a nice way to build a miniature application to help your user understand how better to use the form.